back to our second edition of this little video series.
We should call it something. We should really think of something to call it.
I don't know. For now, a sit down with Jimmy and Wynston.
The weekly Athens aptitude test. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Something like that. Anyway, I'm Wynston.
I'm Jimmy Watkins.
And
we are with The Post.
Yes, and we're here to talk about the wild Logan weekend we had this past weekend. It was very exciting and for a rivalry game, very enjoyable. If you were a neutral party, it was a great game to go to. If you were a Logan fan, even better game to go to. Athens fan, not so much. It's a close game, 31-30. Logan pulled it out on, you guessed it, a blocked extra point.
And not only a blocked extra point, but the go-ahead touchdown for Logan came on a screen pass, 38-yard screen pass for a touchdown that it was pretty clear to us, I thought, that it hit the ground before, I think it was Riley Nelson took it in for the score. But the refs didn't call it that way. Obviously, there's no reviews in high school football, and Coach Ryan Adams after the game said he didn't see the play. Now, whether he did or he didn't, I mean, there's nothing he can really say either way that will change it. But yeah, it was a wild ending.
Yeah, that game had a lot of bizarre plays. And I mean, first, we get to the game and Athens scores, and then Logan scores right after that, like a 52-yard run.
Yeah, both huge plays.
Yeah, and then we're sitting there and what was it? Oh, Athens lines up for a fake field goal, and Gribble runs in for 6 to take a 24. Runs in for 6 for a 24-10 lead. And Athens looked like they were going to seal the win there.
Started looking like themselves.
Then they had, like 3 straight empty possessions, and Logan scored on 2 of those on the reverse
21
possession.
straight points.
Yeah, 21 unanswered points. And, like Jimmy said, that play, I mean, what was so bizarre about that play was not only the bounce pass, because, I mean, okay, yeah, that's one thing,
right,
but the yards after catch. I mean,
right.
He ran 38
really
yards,
and
it
really
looked like he was tackled.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, I'm looking down at my phone trying to tweet, and all of a sudden, I look up, and Logan's fans are going crazy. And I was like, what is going on? And I see the guys just running. I was just like, well, there you go. And so
he was bottled up to the point where you almost were kind of expecting the refs to come and blow the whistle and stop the play, and then he just broke out, and the Logan fans started going nuts, and he scored. It was a lot of chaos on the play.
For sure. Rivalries, I guess they bring out the chaoticness in football.
Especially when you got two teams that, I mean, on paper seem so mismatched as these two were. I mean, this is Logan's first win of the season.
Yep. Granted,
they're a Division II team, and Athens is Division III, but Athens is no slouch to playing Division III teams that are a lot better record-wise than this team. And Coach Ryan Adams tried to instill in them that this was a big game. I mean, this was his arch rival the entire time he played at Athens High School, but he said himself he thinks that they let him down. They let themselves down by not taking the Chieftains seriously.
Yeah, for sure. But in addition to those big plays and obviously the crazy ending, there were some things throughout the game that Athens could have capitalized on. One being scoring efficiently. I mean, they went up what was it, 24-10. Yeah, they scored what, 17 unanswered, because Logan hit a 35-yard field goal, then Gribble hit a 34-yarder, and then after that Athens scored 2 straight touchdowns, and really had a convincing lead and looked to kind of silence Logan. And then Logan fought back, and you really got to talk about the penalties for this team. I mean, this is something that between big plays and penalties have really kept this team from really being 6-0.
Yeah, the penalties are a thing that have basically not gone away the entire season. I mean, against Warren, I don't think they had many, but that was just such a mismatch it didn't matter. But ever since then, really, they've been a lot of, even when there weren't a lot of penalties, there were timely penalties that really slowed down drives or lengthened the drives of opponents. The penalties, and now later in the season, it's just been the sheer volume of the penalties. And against Logan, there's a ton of personal fouls, which are reasonable to expect some because it's a rivalry game like that, especially when they were getting frustrated because this team was hanging around with them. But yeah, the penalties are an issue that's not going to go away.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing to take away from the game is Tyler Roback did have a little bit of an injury. We didn't get a chance to get an update. We'll go to practice tomorrow and find out what the extent of that injury is. But Tyler was a little dinged up, and Mike still stepped in. And per usual,
pretty much the entire second half.
And per usual, he filled in and got things took care of business. I mean, he has been the running back to look to when Roback is either having an off day or obviously injured at this point. So we'll get an update on that. But yeah, Athens, tough loss for them. I mean, it was a game they should have won, they could have won, and they were one extra point away from changing really the scale of the game.
Yeah, the only silver lining is that it wasn't a conference game, so it doesn't hurt them in that regard.
Exactly. I mean, but it does have big implications on playoff contention because now that's their second loss of the season, and if as long as they went out the TVC, they should make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, but once you start talking about at-large bids, then you're in trouble with a game like this that you should have won.
Exactly. I mean, Coach, he mentioned that he told his players to not overlook teams, and it looked as if Athens just overlooked Logan just a little bit, and maybe even got a little cocky when they got that 2-touchdown lead. And so they have to try not to do the same against Meigs, because Meigs, I think, is one of those teams that they may not be that great on paper, but you don't want to overlook them and look down the road to Nelsonville, York, which is their last game of the season. Probably will be a deciding game in terms of playoff contention.
And de facto conference title game.
Exactly. So you don't want to look too far ahead, but you don't want to forget about that game. So hopefully Athens will be able to bounce back. I mean, last time they lost, they bounced back against Watkins at home, and this time they're on the road trying to bounce back off a loss. So we'll see how they can react and hopefully get a win and get back on track.
All right, yeah, I'm Jimmy Watkins with The Post. That's Wynston.
Wilcox, and thanks for tuning in.
Next time.